This makes him see you as his queen that he would never, ever, ever want to lose from his life. If you're tired of a man pulling away, being wishy-washy, treating you like the dirt on the ground rather than the diamond on the shelf in the ring box, that precious gem that you are, then this is going to help you immensely to create the relationship of your dreams with your man, a high quality masculine man. Hi, I'm Brody Boyd with Magnetize Your Man, and for over 20 years combined with my wife Antia, we've been helping thousands of successful women all over the world to get a loving, long-term, committed relationship with the man they want very quickly once you implement the right strategies, and we're going to be going into that today on our training here. So, the first principle, we'll dive right into it. To make him see you as a queen that he would never lose is to embrace your feminine radiance. I'm going to pull up an image right now that you can see on the screen. The difference between two energies. Now, this is the same woman. The woman on the left, the woman on the right have very different energies. Can you pick up on the difference? Can you see, can you sense, can you feel from your feminine core the difference between these two energies? One energy is open, radiant, feminine, vulnerable, receptive. The other is closed. It is energetically penetrative. It is masculine, and it is closed off. It is holding up a shield, like a giant shield, that is energetically blocking the man. It is blocking a masculine man from coming in. Now, I'm sure you can identify right now which one is the feminine one and which one is the more masculine version of the same woman. So you see how many of the principles that we're teaching you here are about energetics. They're not necessarily about your appearance. Oftentimes, some women will use makeup like a shield to actually avoid being vulnerable on an unconscious level. So obviously, the woman on the right is more in her masculine energy, and the woman on the left is in her feminine. The same woman again, just different energies. So to notice this within yourself, which one do you tend to be embodying with men, with a man? Are you in your embraced feminine radiance, or are you in your masculine, protective, blocked energy? A masculine man, a healthy masculine man, is going to easily and quickly pick the woman on the left every single time. Yes, men will still sleep with the woman on the right, but the version of the woman on the right is actually performing, and she's doing this more for other women, likely, or she is doing it because she believes that's what men want, but it's not actually what a healthy masculine man wants. Like I said, men will sleep with the woman on the right, or they will potentially avoid her, but women will marry and embrace long-term the woman on the left. A healthy masculine man will do that. So just to notice the energetic difference, that is what I'm talking about when I say feminine radiance. Every woman has within her a feminine core, and every man has within him a masculine core. For you to embrace your feminine radiance, it means connecting to that deep core within you that already exists. Every woman has it. We're not changing who you are. We're not teaching you how to play games. We're teaching you to embrace the most authentic, vulnerable side of yourself that will compel a man to treat you like a queen, to want to protect your heart, to want to provide for you, and to want to be your hero. It's an energetic shift that's very powerful that will happen when you embrace these principles in the right way. So this will start you on the path. The next secret to make him see you as his queen that he would never lose by his side is to not be a doormat. Now, a doormat is an archetype. It's a certain energy. Some women are embracing this energy. They are giving men everything that they can to try to make the man like them. They are trying to meet his needs. They're trying to serve him. They're trying to make him happy. They're giving to him. In some ways, they're often being his mother. They're being his therapist. They're being his nurse. And they're wanting to make the man like them. The worst sin for a doormat would be if the man does not like me. If he does not like me, then my world is crumbling. I am not good enough, I'm a failure, and I'm probably going to die alone. That's the fear of the doormat. So she will do everything possible to make sure she is not disliked. It becomes also what's known as the people pleaser on the extreme. And yes, a doormat can be feminine in her own way. It's almost an extreme form of femininity, but it's to such a level that she has sacrificed herself. She has lost her own sense of self-value, and she is no longer looking out for her own needs in the relationship. And oftentimes, what will happen is the doormat will actually still build resentment and become passive aggressive in different ways. But the key here will be the passive piece. She is not speaking up, she's not looking out for her own needs, and she does not want to rock the boat with her man. Now, a man will ultimately not want to be with a woman like that long term because he will stop valuing her, which will affect his level of attraction to her. So we're not teaching you how to be a doormat here, because the queen, which a man will embrace and love, is much different than the doormat, but it does have some aspects of the doormat, such as the softness, the gentleness, the feminine energy, that are very magnetic and very powerful. Now, you might say, well, I'm not a doormat. I never want to be a doormat. And you might switch to the other side of the equation, which would be the bitch. And you do not want to be a bitch either. A bitch energy, a bitch archetype, is the type of woman who says, I'm going to make it all about me. I'm not going to please a man anymore. I don't care. I'm going to focus on my needs. I'm going to focus on what I'm doing. And he either comes along for the ride or he doesn't. And I'll even start telling him what to do. I'll start leading him and making decisions for him because I'm looking out for numero uno. And now this can become very repulsive to a healthy masculine man as well, because a healthy masculine man does not want a masculine woman, which the bitch archetype is on the more masculine side of the energies here. It'll push him away. It'll cause the polarity to disaparate, and he will lose passion, chemistry, and attraction long term. So there are good aspects of the doormat archetype, however, the bitch archetype, however, which is she is self-focused. She does care about herself. She does value herself almost to the extreme, and she's willing to speak up, again, almost to the extreme, where she's actually telling men what to do. She is criticizing them, complaining, blaming them, shaming them, emasculating them. And ultimately, a man will have only three choices with a woman like that. He'll have to submit to her leadership and become a shell of a man. He'll become depressed, likely, lose his masculine self-esteem, and also become a shell of a man. Or he will have to fight her and argue with her and be combative, and ultimately he's going to walk away, regardless of those three scenarios. Ultimately, he's going to have to walk away unless he does totally submit and just is okay with being a shell of a man and in his feminine the rest of the relationship. Some men are like that. They're deeply broken, they're traumatized, and some women are like that as well. And those relationships can work to an extent, but they're very toxic and ultimately unhealthy for both parties. So we don't want to be that as well. What we want to be is the queen, which is taking positive aspects of the bitch, positive aspects of the doormat, and combining them. So the self-focus, you are willing to speak up. You are willing to share your feelings, which we will teach you how to do that with magnetic feminine communication, which is the key to be able to share your feelings, your desires, your needs with a man in a way where he receives it and he wants to meet those needs. He wants to make you happy, and he feels your sense of self-value, which makes him want to value you as well. But you're still respectful, open, gentle, warm, radiant, etc. We combine the best of both of those archetypes. Now, the next secret to make him see you as his queen is to give him unconditional respect. Now, the key here is if you want unconditional love from a man, which the feminine energy desires to be adored and cherished, masculine energy desires to be respected and trusted. So if you want a man to adore and cherish you, you have to respect and trust him and give it an unconditional trust and respect aspect, because that's going to really make him feel that on a deep level that he is a man for you. He can be your man. He can help you. He can serve you. He can provide and be your hero. Now, here's the key. You want to use with this process the 90-day challenge, which means you're going to use what we're teaching you for 90 days, and we'll walk you through that process. And if he doesn't shift his care and devotion towards you in that 90 days, then you can walk away. And if you ever feel unsafe at any point, you should walk away. You should leave that relationship. But try it. Try it out for 90 days, giving him unconditional respect, and see how it shifts the relationship. At the very least, it will reveal to you what kind of man you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a healthy masculine man, or if you're dealing with a broken man who has deep trauma and is simply incapable of showing that care and devotion for a woman. At least for you, for whatever reason. We got to get out of that situation because, again, you're high value. You don't want to stick in a situation where you're uncared for or unsafe. Next, if you haven't yet, before we get to our next key here, I highly recommend taking our free love quiz to learn how to make a man desire you and get a loving, long-term, and committed relationship with the man you want fast by clicking the link in the description or comments below, or you can go to our website, magnetizeyourman.com right now, where you can get access to that, pick it up, and get your top recommendation for us to help you on this journey. The next powerful key to make him see you as his queen is to use the big apology. Oftentimes, what happens in a relationship is bad blood is formed. There are things that have happened that have caused your man to have a negative association towards you, and for you to likely have negative associations towards him in different ways. And things have been swept under the rug. They have been accumulating these grievances, these hurts, these resentments. And we don't want that to keep accumulating, because what happens if the rug gets too filled up is eventually you can't even walk in the room because it's too full of resentment. You have to leave the room. You don't even want to deal with him. Or it eventually bursts out of the rug, and now all of a sudden there's a huge argument that happens, or there's a breakup, or there's some toxicity that enters the relationship, and things go sour very quickly. That's what we call the toxic, negative, downward spiral in a relationship. We want to get you out of that, clear out the rug with your man so that you can have a positive, empowering upward spiral. And this can be a great place to start. We have a whole process that we teach this to for our clients in our coaching memberships and in our groups, how to do the big apology, because it's about an hour-long training that I go through on how to prepare for it and how to have this conversation. But the summary of it is you're going to do a self-audit, which is feminine energy. Feminine energy is about self-awareness, internal focus. You're going to look at all the areas and all the ways that you were disrespectful in your relationship, things you've said, things you've done, where you were mothering him, you were giving to him, you were trying to make him happy, or you were disrespectful through criticism, shaming him, emasculating him, complaining to him. And it's caused him to lose attraction. It's caused him to lose polarity, for you both to lose polarity, really. And the passion isn't there anymore. He started pulling away, or he's avoiding you, or maybe even he already broke up with you. And we help a lot of clients who have already broken up with their guys. And so you use this process of the big apology to do a self-audit of all the ways you were disrespectful to him in the past, to be able to reach out to him, set up a phone call or set up an in-person meeting, and actually share those things with him in a respectful, vulnerable way, so he feels your heart, which is the essence of your feminine energy. And now he understands, he empathizes with where you're coming from. He sees that you have awareness, which allows him to trust you more and see that you're going to be different moving forward simply because you're now more aware of yourself. That allows him to trust and have the opportunity to re-engage with you, for you to start fresh, for you to at least clean up your side of the street. And then he's going to do whatever he's going to do with that. Likely he's going to feel trust, he's going to feel openness, he's going to feel desire to re-engage with you, and you can start your relationship again on a fresh foot and have more devotion from his end. Some men will cry, some men will hug the woman that does this with them, some men will need a couple days to process what you shared, or they'll completely ignore it. We don't know. It depends on your man, and it depends on what's happened to this point. But likely he's going to shift, and it's going to get the relationship back on a track where he sees you as his queen and wants to make you happy. The third secret here is to give him missions to accomplish. Masculine energy is about achievement. It's about accomplishing the goal, accomplishing the mission, penetrating, making it happen, getting to the treasure at the end of the tunnel, finding the buried treasure. This is the reason why men are so drawn to things like racing, sports, video games, anything where he can get this sense of winning, that he's doing a good job, that he is valuable as a man, that he's providing. That's part of the essence of a masculine instinct and a masculine core that every man has. It just depends on how broken he is. And so when you give him a mission to accomplish, you can activate that instinct within him. And you can do it in small ways, and you can do it in big ways. The easy way to do it is to simply start asking him for help more often. Start asking him for his advice, start asking him for tips, start asking him for his opinion, for his suggestions, for his decisions, and let him give those things to you. Let him accomplish the mission. Let him solve the problem. But you have to share these requests respectfully. Again, we talked about unconditional respect, and vulnerably, so that he wants to do it for you, so that he feels like it's a gift to him that he gets to do it, not that he has to do it. A man will feel like he has to do it when you're nagging him, when you're continually bringing it up, and when you're sharing your desires or your requests in a disrespectful or a masculine way. that will push him away, such as, for example, telling him, did you remember to do this? Did you remember to pick up that thing I mentioned to you last week? Or why haven't you finished cleaning out the laundry room yet? It's still dirty. Or what are you doing? Why haven't you gotten the job applications out yet? I see that you're still just playing video games all the time. What are you doing? These are disrespectful ways of asking him to help, rather than a respectful, vulnerable way of simply saying something like, hey, babe, I notice I'm feeling scared right now because I've seen that the bills still haven't gotten taken care of and I don't know what to do. Can I have some help with that? That would be a feminine request, and it's very specific. Another way could be simply just asking outright for what you want. Can I have a phone call? Can I have a hug? Can I please have a massage? Would it be okay if we spent some time together this weekend? Can I ask what you think about that? So you can make very specific requests as well. And actually, the more specific it is, the better, because when you give a man a mission, you want it to be clear. You don't want it to be some vague thing like just simply saying, I need help, or I'm overwhelmed. It's better than some alternatives that we talked about, but it's still not giving him a specific direction. Now he has to do extra work to figure out even what you actually want or what the problem actually is. But if you can share it using magnetic feminine communication, we have many scripts that will give you how to have a magnetic feminine conversation with him, where you go really deep into your feelings and your desires and your needs, so he can understand fully what's going on for you and be activated in his devotion for you. Then he'll have a clear goal, he'll have a clear mission set for him, so he chooses to accept it, and likely he will, because it will feel good to him to know that he can actually be a hero for somebody. Maybe he can't be a hero for the rest of the world, but he can at least be a hero for you. And then once he's accomplished that goal, which hopefully he will, then you can shower him with appreciation and admiration and respect, which will feel really good to him, and he'll want to continue doing that over and over and over again. Now you're getting into that healthy, polarized upward spiral in your relationship where he feels more devotion to you, and now you're dancing. Now you're on the dance floor. I got to find a better way to represent this with my hands. There's got to be another way. You're dancing on the dance floor. Hello, sir. Hello, hello, madam. Hello, sir. Do you care to dance? Now you're dancing on the dance floor here, and you're doing that West Coast swing. You're doing that salsa dance, and your relationship is amazing because he's in his healthy masculine, you're in your healthy feminine, and you guys are just being able to now have fun and let go and enjoy that process, which is the way God designed it, the way God intended men and women to be together with a healthy masculine feminine polarity. Now you're embracing your essence, you're embracing the core, and he's being activated in his core, and you're both going to be more fulfilled because you're now living from your essence in your relationship. The number 2 powerful key here is to receive him fully. Just like in sex, just like in fertilization, the egg is receiving the sperm. Receiving his gifts, whatever those gifts are, the ways he wants to help you, receiving those fully and appreciating him. So when he does solve those problems for you, when he is accomplishing the mission, when he is giving to you, that you allow him to do that. And you simply say thank you, or you share how he makes you feel. Thank you so much, babe. I feel so treasured whenever you're solving these problems for me. It makes me feel like I'm taken care of, that you're my man, that you got me. That's a great statement to let a man know he's fully received by you, that he is wanted, he's needed, he's valued for his masculine energy, for his masculine gifts, and that he has a place with you. He has a place that he can fill in your life. There's an area where you're letting him in. Again, you can do a lot of things for yourself, but there's a lot of things your man could probably do for you if you ask respectfully, if you share your feelings, and he understands it's a problem and he's clear on what that is. He'll probably want to give that to you. He'll probably want to fill that space, fill that void, so that you can feel that pleasure and you can feel good about it, that he is giving to you in that way. And he'll feel good because he knows he's a provider and he's a hero and he's able to make his woman happy. If a man has any level of care for you, he's going to get his sense of value from knowing he is able to make his woman happy. And if he feels like he can't, if he's not received, if she's blocking him, if she doesn't need him, he's going to say, what am I doing here? Why am I in this relationship? I need to find a place where I am welcomed, where I can serve, where I can be received and provide. And I'll probably be in a different relationship. So you want to give him that opportunity. Or sometimes men are just completely opting out and they're just playing video games the rest of their life. in a way that they can feel needed in that virtual world. But you can give them an opportunity in the real world right now, right here, to be a champion for you. You are my champion. Give him that space to be a hero. He's going to value it, and you're going to also feel very valued when he does. The number one way to make him see you as a queen is to walk away. Ultimately, in any relationship, the person with the most power is the person most willing to walk away. This is true for business negotiations. This is true for sales conversations. This is true for relationships and romance. If you're willing to walk away, you will hold your value as a woman. And this is one of the most powerful ways you can hold your value as a woman, meaning that at some point, you're going to let him go because you're not going to stay in an abusive situation. You're not going to stay in an unhealthy situation where a man isn't showing care for your heart. Now, the caveat here is you may not have learned all the things that we're teaching you here, and you may not have gotten our more advanced coaching and training and specialization that we teach our clients to actually have an amazing, loving, long-term relationship, long-term, where he stays and he wants to make you happy. So you need to learn these things. You need to practice these principles and role play these principles. And then over the course of the next 90 days, which we teach with our Magnetic Feminine 90-day challenge, you're going to get the opportunity to use it with him. You know, it could be a shorter challenge. You could do it over 30 days or 60 days or even a longer challenge over 180 days. You give yourself the container to use these principles, to use the Magnetic Feminine communication the way we'll teach you, to allow him to shift, to allow his hero instinct to be activated, to start showing more care and love and devotion for your heart rather than not showing care and love and devotion for your heart, and then see how he behaves. Hopefully he's going to shift. As long as he's not a deeply broken man, he's going to shift over that period of time, and you're going to have an incredible, loving, committed relationship with him, where he's probably going to propose to you because of it, if he hasn't already. But if he doesn't, you're probably dealing with a deeply broken man who has trauma, and it's an unhealthy situation for you, and you need to get out of that situation. You need to walk away. And, of course, you should walk away at any time that you don't feel safe or that your heart is being protected by him. Of course, men will make mistakes, and he may not always say the right thing or do the right thing, but as long as he's making effort, he's improving, he's showing that care and devotion, even in a small way, and it's getting better over time, then I would say keep giving it that chance for the relationship to actually improve, because you're also cleaning up your side of the street where you're now entering your queen phase, your queen era. You're being the most magnetic, feminine, high-value woman you can be, and you're giving him a chance to see that, to feel that, and to want to meet you in that sense. It may just take some time because you're learning a new language here, you're learning a new dance, and you have to learn the steps, you have to learn the words, you have to learn the phraseology to get it right, so where then eventually it just feels like you're on the dance floor enjoying the dance and you can let go and just have fun. But we have to get to that point, which means learning, mastery, practice, coaching support, specialization, and customization for you to get there. So if you'd like to get there, before we start answering questions here, again, I highly recommend taking our free quiz to get a loving, long-term, committed relationship with a man you want, to get this all customized and personalized for you. Even if a man has rejected you or broken up with you, this will immensely help you get on the path. Click the link below or go to our website, magnetizeyourman.com. I'm going to start answering some questions here. I see a lot of them have came in, and let's have some fun here while we're doing that. So Nicole said, I'm here, finally got a live chat. Welcome, Nicole. Glad you're here. Join the party. Peaceful Noggin said, watching in from Australia. Thank you so much for all your help. You're welcome. Glad it's helping you. These principles are powerful. I hope you're using them for good and not for evil. Jess said, hi there. How are you doing this evening? I'm doing great. I'm having fun. Glad to be with everybody here. I actually love these live trainings because I can really connect with you and interact and hear what you're actually dealing with, so that we can make sure this is all most relevant as possible, so you get results that you really desire in your life and in your relationships. Janelle said, oh, wow. Wow. And this is something different. We're really going into the deep end here, and we're going with some raw truths that'll help you. I don't want to sugarcoat it for you, because that's not going to really help you get the relationship you need. You need to have the truth, and you need to have it laid out in a way, hopefully, where you don't get too much resistance and you don't get too triggered, but you can actually listen to it, hear it, think about it, feel about it, most importantly, and then utilize it in your life to get a much better life, because now you're connecting to who you actually are before all the traumas you've had, the issues, the programming from media, from schools, from parents, from social media, and to be able to come back to who you actually were from the very beginning, before all of that programming. We're just helping you get connected with your authentic self, and how do you share that with a man and share that with the world so they can see that light, like planets to the sun, like moths to the flame, and be drawn in, be magnetized by it. Magnetize your man. Divine Little Work in Progress said, I like it. We're always a work in progress. Embrace the journey. It's about the journey, and that's the feminine approach. It's always about the journey rather than the destination. And a lot of what will help you with that is letting go of the outcome. Committing to the process, committing to that journey, taking the steps every day like you're doing here, you're on right now, you're learning, you're investing into yourself, which is all feminine principle, self-focus, self-investment, detaching from the outcome, whatever happens because of that. But you can still observe it. You can still look at how your man behaves. You can still look at the results you're getting, notice it, but then focus the energy back on how can I be a better version of myself? How can I be more connected to my core, more radiant, more self-valuing, increasing your self-value, where you're taking care of your health, you're taking care of your mind, you're watching your thoughts, you're processing your emotions, you're learning better strategies, you're practicing better strategies like what we're teaching you here. And then your life really starts to get better. And then the results just come naturally because you're detached from them at that point. You're not striving. You're not trying to get something from your man. You're not trying to make it happen, which is masculine energy. Instead, now you can allow it to happen because you're becoming the magnet. You're becoming the source. You're the gift. You're the drink that's overflowing that he gets to sip up if he wants it and if he so chooses. Jess said, how to do this when he lives so far away. Yeah, we had this question a couple days ago. So I know a lot of women are dealing with that long distance situations. Now, a lot of the principles here, basically everything is the same. You want to use everything I'm teaching you here. Long distance doesn't mean there still can't be polarity and attraction and chemistry. It's going to be a little more challenging, and in some ways you even need to do more of what I'm teaching you here to maintain that attraction and maintain that polarity. But, you know, the stars are still attracted to each other from a distance. The planets are still orbiting each other from a distance. So you don't have to be right next to each other to have that gravity and that attraction together. But you want to use magnetic feminine communication. You want to ask him for what you desire in a respectful, vulnerable way. So ask for a phone call. Hey, babe, hope you're doing well. Can I ask if we can talk this evening? I'd love to reconnect with you. Or just simply that. Can I ask if we can talk on the phone? Can I ask how you're doing? Once you're on the phone, share how you're doing, connect, have fun, ask him for help, ask him for advice, ask him for whatever you want, really, your heart's desire. Share your feelings with him, be open and vulnerable, and let him be your man and let him solve the problem. If you're really getting down about the distance, share that with him in the right way. You can have a magnetic feminine conversation, and that will allow him to fully empathize and understand and want to serve you and want to solve the problem if he's a healthy man. And he'll want to bridge the gap. He'll want to come to you. He'll want to start making it a more in-person relationship if he can, depending on the situation that you're in. He'll figure it out. Trust him to figure out the problem as long as you, from the feminine, share the problem in the right way, in a respectful, vulnerable way that he can actually receive without feeling attacked, criticized, or blamed. That'll be the key. And yeah, let him bridge that gap. That's the masculine approach. That's his job, to solve that problem and to make it happen. And you just simply have to ask for what you want and share your heart around that. That's the feminine. So I hope that helps, Jess, to give you some starting points for that. You can post more specific questions if you have them around that. That's what I'd recommend to get going in the right direction. Peaceful Noggin said, yep, I am definitely a doormat. No more doormat. Hello, self-care. Yes. Sometimes you have to go a little bit into the extreme. If you're really on the doormat side, you have to be a little bit of a bitch, a little bit. It'll feel like you're being a bitch, but actually for you, what it's likely doing is just you being the queen. It's just you speaking up more, sharing your feelings, and asking for what you want, and setting boundaries with yourself if needed, or being willing to walk away. So a lot of things you might not have practiced before so that you can actually be the queen. Even though it may feel like the bitch for a little while, you may feel like, wow, I'm really like asking him for a lot right now, or I'm really putting a lot out there. I hope he can take it. And just trust that he can take it. Just trust that he's going to love your heart when it's shared in the right way. There's no ugly emotions, there's only ugly behaviors. So as long as you share your emotions respectfully, ask permission and say, "Can I share something with you?" Or "Can I share a feeling that's coming up for me?" And then just tell him when he says yes, say, "I notice I'm feeling some sadness or some anxiety or some fear or some anger." And then pause and let him feel it. Let him actually understand what you're feeling, because that's your feminine energy. And oftentimes you don't even need to say anything other than that. Let him say the next thing. Let him say, "Why are you feeling sad?" Or "What's going on?" Or "How can I help you?" You can ask for help too. You can say, "Can I ask for some help with that?" Or um, "I don't know what to do." Just simply say, "I don't know what to do." Let him solve it. Let him take the lead and now start to help you and serve you to find out why you're feeling those emotions and help to make things better. That would be an example of an approach where you are being respectful and vulnerable at the same time. There's many ways to do that, but when you use magnetic feminine communication, it's like the secret code that allows a man to understand what you actually need and want without him feeling criticized, blamed, or trying like you're trying to control and lead him. But now he gets the opportunity to solve it on his own. AG said, "Yay, peaceful, good for you." Yes, good for you. Embrace the queen. Send the doormat where it belongs, outside of your house. Outside of your house, in front of the door. The queen is inside the house. The queen is wearing her crown, watching this video right now, investing into herself and taking care of herself and learning how to be even more queenly and being the best version of herself and having the best life possible. That's what the queen's doing in her warm, comfy castle. Leave the doormat outside. All right, so Divine little, oh yes, Divine again. "I want my man to lead. I want to have that trust with him. This video is awesome. Thank you. I'm the only female in a family of men." Yeah, so it's very easy to become a tomboy in those situations, or to adopt some sort of tomboy energy, a masculine energy, because you're around so many men and masculine people, masculine energies. So that's why part of the feminine journey and a feminine activity is to be around more women. You're being around women right now. You're hearing other women's perspectives in the chat. We have our women's communities with our coaching groups where it's all women except for me and Kevin and my wife occasionally in there sharing her gold, amazing diamond nuggets of wisdom. And be in those communities. Find a community for you that you can embrace and that you can be in, where you can connect and absorb feminine energy in a healthy way that lifts you up rather than pulls you down. You also, of course, want to be around women that aren't deeply broken and who are themselves narcissists or sociopaths or wounded attachment styles. I mean, that's okay as long as they're working on themselves. But if they're projecting that onto you and they're just dumping onto you or being energy vampire towards you, you need to also step away and set a boundary with yourself and get out of those unhealthy situations so that you can get around instead environments and people that lift you up like you're doing here. So just continue that when you're not in our community here or on our coaching calls or our training videos like this, because you got to keep yourself in those positive environments. Cheryl said, "Hit the like button and tickle the bell, please." Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that, Cheryl. It's a great reminder for everyone. If you want to hear when I'm going live again in the future, I think that's the key, is you hit the bell and it will let you know when I'm going live here, because it's not all the time. Clerkler said, "God, unconditional respect is difficult when he's a nagger. He talks more than me. The dramatics are unbearable sometimes, so I slip getting into an argument." Yeah, so men can nag as well. And likely he's more in his feminine energy if that's the case. He sounds like either he's a broken man or he's a man who hasn't fully connected to his masculine instinct yet, and he's probably in his feminine energy in some capacity more than his masculine. So, yes, it is hard to show him that respect. But then the opposite equivalent of that would be like a man in a relationship like that, where the woman's in her masculine energy and he's saying, "Man, it's so hard. She's constantly telling me what to do, and she's constantly treating me like a child and criticizing me, and I'm having a hard time showing her unconditional love. I don't know how to love her when she's like that. She's like a monster. How am I supposed to love somebody like that?" Well, if it was a man on the man's side, he can shift the dynamic. He can shift the relationship, as I'm sure you're aware. If he, instead of ignoring you or pulling away, instead he gave you unconditional love and just said, "Come here, babe. Let me give you a hug. Tell me more about what you're thinking. Tell me more about what you're feeling. Like, lay it on me. Tell me more. I'm here for you. I got you. And if he just held you and maybe kissed you, had sex with you, if you're at that stage in a relationship, I highly recommend waiting till you're at least exclusive. Wait till a man's claimed you before you have a sexual relationship with him. We go into that in many different trainings. But, you know, whatever he wants to do to show that love, you're probably going to melt and you're going to feel really good of like, oh, I don't even remember what I was upset about. I just feel loved now. I feel like a woman again. And so the opposite is true for a man when he's maybe used to you getting argumentative with him when he's whatever he's doing. But then when you start showing him, you know what, how can I love him right now when he's like this? I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and give him some unconditional respect. And I'm going to start treating him like an amazing man, like a powerful man, like he's my hero. And let's see how he shifts. And if you start treating him with respect, like with a lot of the tools that we teach you here about, for one, not attacking him, blaming him, shaming him, a lot of the masculine behaviors, but also more feminine approaches like asking permission before you ask him for something or share something with him, and being respectful in that sense, not penetrating him energetically. And if you're vulnerable with him and you appreciate him and share with him all the things that he does that makes you feel amazing, that you admire him for, that you trust him for, and then also just trusting his leadership, like letting him lead.
You'll have to turn off airplane mode.
This my phone's going off. Like letting him lead, letting him make decisions and take over aspects of your life together and trusting him to handle it. That's unconditional respect. That's unconditional trust. And likely if you do that over the 90 days and you use everything that we're teaching you, he will start to shift his approach towards you and he'll start to step more into his healthy masculine because he starts to feel that you actually see him as a powerful man and he likes that. Part of him will really like that because he has a masculine core deep inside and he's going to want to step into that role even more. And he's going to eventually wonder why he was anything different than that, why he wasn't the hero all the time. So through the law of polarity, opposite energies attract. So if your man is very feminine, if you want him to be in his masculine, you just have to become more feminine than him, and he's going to start shifting into his masculine. And the reverse is also true. If a man is becoming more feminine, he's going to shift his woman to becoming more masculine. So we don't need to have him here. We just need to have you shift into your feminine core fully, use our Magnetic Feminine 90-day challenge, and have empowered conversations with him where you're sharing your heart vulnerably, respectfully, and then he's likely going to start stepping into his healthy masculine, unless he's a deeply wounded man, he's broken, and you can't fix him. In that case, over the 90 days, you'll know, and then you have to walk away. You have to remove yourself from that situation, set a boundary with yourself, get out respectfully. You can still be nice about it and kind about it, and you can have a conversation around it. We'll help you with, but you need to get out because that's not a good situation for you, and you're not ultimately going to get your desires met. But you need to give him a chance. You need to give him a chance also to learn this new language, learn the new steps of the dance, so that he can lead you in the dance, and then hopefully he will. And if not, he's probably just a broken man. It's unfortunate, but likely he will. Likely he will shift. AG said resentment is a no-no. Yeah, resentment you got to be very careful about because it will build up and it will come out in different ways. So instead of resenting your man, you need to have magnetic feminine conversations with him and you need to share your feelings respectfully and you need to let him know what the problem is so that he can fix it and so that he's inspired to want to fix it rather than continuing to resent him and letting it build up and build up and build up. And now you're going to have real problems and you have real arguments and he'll probably feel more disrespected by you because it's going to come out that you'll end up becoming disrespectful in different ways and in your masculine likely. So we want to nip it in the bud. We want to kill the monster when it's a baby and not let it grow into something that's a big problem for you in your relationship. F. Garcia said, absolutely. Yep, it's true. Hallelujah. Can I get an amen? Amen. Hallelujah. All right. Sluckerler said, women don't chase men. No way. Yeah, no. Does the egg chase the sperm? Last I checked, that's not the case. Maybe if you're doing in vitro or something really advanced. But no, in general, the egg is not chasing the sperm. So why would you chase the man? Don't do it. Say no. Magella said, I'm really struggling with a guy. I don't know what to do. I know we have feelings for each other, but he stays silent. I have decided to step back, let him lead. I don't want to chase anymore. Good. Don't do it. There's much better things to do than chase. For example, sharing your heart, being open and vulnerable and radiant, like our little image we had before. I'm going to put that on the screen again here. Like this. Be the radiant woman, be the radiant version of yourself, not the closed off, masculine, guarded version of yourself that will not draw him in. Yeah, he may still be attracted at some level. He may still want to have sex with you, or he may still want to keep you around, but he's not going to feel real deep love and devotion for you if you're the version of the woman on the right versus the version of the woman on the left. So just remember that image, but remember it with your heart. This is how you want to be with your heart. This is about energy. Feminine energy is about the openness, the radiance with your heart that draws a man in, rather than the closed off, more of the bitch type of energy, the guarded energy. That's going to just push him away further. So let me pull that question up again. Oh, I need to actually hide this here. There we go. So yeah, so don't do it. So your question was here, he has feelings for you and you have feelings for each other, but he stays silent. Yeah, so rather than completely pulling back, if you haven't yet, I would recommend having a magnetic feminine communication, a magnetic feminine conversation with him, maybe even the big apology that we talked about earlier, and we'll help you with that. If you want specific coaching support and recommendations on what to do and how to have that conversation, again, click the link in the comments or the description below. Take our free quiz, and we'll get you your top recommendation and get you some coaching support, get the opportunity to join our communities and let us help you with this in a deeper way so we can spend more time together and really customize this for your specific situation. But I would recommend doing the 90-day challenge and actually sharing with him how you're actually feeling in a respectful, vulnerable way, and seeing how he shifts from that place rather than simply pulling away and not doing anything or not saying anything, because that could also potentially cause a situation where the polarity decreases and goes away because you guys simply aren't talking. You aren't connecting. You aren't interacting. Just like in a dance, you can't really have a dance if you're not touching each other, if you're not talking to each other. Yeah, there's a chance he might come and ask you to dance. He might come back and ask you to dance and say, I'm sorry, baby, I don't want to be like this anymore. I want to shift. But it's much better if you can just open your heart and radiate and ask for what you want, which would probably be a conversation or a connection or his help and to help fix the problem. And then, like the bee to the flower, he's going to come in and want to help you from that place and be inspired. It's like dropping the hanky, and then he gets to pick up the hanky and give it to you and say, okay, babe, yes, I feel your heart. I see your heart. I want to help you from that place. So that's what I recommend is a better approach. Nancy said, yes, amen. Amen. Hallelujah. All right. So Angie said, how do I get over a man that I was in love with, but he just wants to be friends? So to get over a man is not, the best way to get over a man is not to get under somebody else, as some people would say, as society would say. You don't want to do that. The best way to get over a man is to invest into yourself, like you're doing here, to put that energy back into your own heart, which is feminine, because anytime you're still thinking about a man, you're thinking about what he's thinking, what he's feeling, if he's dating somebody else, what's going on in his life, you're in masculine energy in that moment. Masculine energy is about external focus. It's about wondering what he likes, what he's doing, what he wants, if he likes you, if he's happy. Feminine energy is about, are you happy? What do you want? How are you feeling? What are you doing for yourself? Are you caring for yourself? Are you investing into yourself? Are you learning? Are you growing? Are you creating a life that you enjoy? Are you creating a social life that you enjoy? Are you getting around environments and people that lift you up? Are you taking care of your health, your sleep, your food? All the basics. That's going to really help you get over that relationship when you commit to that process and you detach from the outcome. Now, of course, what can really help as well, when I already mentioned getting in the right environments, I would recommend, just because maybe you don't want to date yet, but that doesn't mean you can't start rebuilding your social life. That doesn't mean you can't join some meetup groups, some Facebook groups and events that are going on in your area, church groups and events potentially, friends, throwing house parties, etc. Build your social life back up and get around environments that lift you up. That's going to help you a lot. And really, when I had my first breakup, which was the deepest, darkest moment of my life, where I was deeply depressed for about a year and a half, I had suicidal thoughts. It was really bad. And really, it wasn't until I moved away, I got into a completely different environment that I just talked about. I moved to Hawaii, from Oregon to Hawaii. And once I got to Hawaii, almost the day that I got to Hawaii was the day I never really had any feelings of grief again for that relationship. It was over. It was done. So that can help a lot, just to get away from things that remind you of that person, things that are causing you to think about them and feel about them and reminisce. So try to get rid of reminders and ideally get into new environments and meet new people and have fun and connect. And maybe a more high quality man will enter your life soon, especially when you use what we teach you. And if you want to take that to the advanced level, I would recommend, again, taking our free quiz, where you can get also the opportunity to get our Magnetize. It's our Magnetic Feminine online dating course, where we teach you how to attract high quality masculine men online, which should be an aspect if you're really serious about attracting a man and you're single right now, or if you have a situation like Angie's in. And we'll teach you how to do that, how to craft your profiles, how to pick the right photos, how to get the right photos, how to message, how to respond to messages from a feminine place, so you're radiating and you're magnetizing. That'll really help you as well, Angie. So I would recommend. And AG said, yes, live in your essence. You're a feminine core. It exists inside of every woman. We're helping you tap into that, because that's really all we have to do at the end of the day. Get you out of the masculine programming, get you out of the trauma bonding and the trauma wounds that might be around you, the scar tissue, and get instead to that golden, beautiful heart that's inside of you that was there the moment you were born, this feminine radiance, reconnecting with that heart, that energy. That's what a man wants from you. And how do you show that? How do you share that in a respectful way, in a vulnerable way, and have a little bit of some safeguards around it, potentially, like our 90-day challenge and the feminine communication and ways that you can avoid being in your masculine energy to go back into old habits. Because you are like learning a new language here. You are learning a new dance, and we just need to get you the right steps and get you the right understanding in the flow of the language so that it becomes natural, becomes like just dancing and enjoying and playing. You don't even have to think about it at some point. You just feel about it. Now you're fully in your feminine essence. Janelle said, I just walked away 3 days ago and I'm having the worst withdrawals from him. I miss him so much. Sorry to hear that, Janelle. Well, I just gave Angie some good tips, so hopefully you got that as well. I would recommend, and it'll help you get on the right track. And we're here for you. So keep plugging in the community here. Keep absorbing and digesting and receiving this transmission and this information that'll help you get yourself back on track and get to a new level of awareness and upgrading within yourself, so that you don't have this situation happen again, and you can have a loving, long-term committed relationship long-term that lasts, and you don't have to be having withdrawals because you're just in it. You're just committed. You're married potentially with a guy that cherishes your heart and adores you and you're excited about and who lights you up. So it's all possible. We just got to get you and keep you on that right track so you can have what you ultimately desire in your love life and in your life altogether. Ewa said, I have the same problem. I'm still in love. Why I should bother about the man who wants to take care of my heart when I love somebody else? Well, there are some things that can happen, Ewa, that I would caution you around and cause you to be aware of, which would be that oftentimes the reason you can be attracted or drawn to somebody is because they're activating wounds within you. So if you have a wound, for example, where your father wasn't giving you the love and attention that you craved, likely when you get into your adult life, you're going to start being drawn towards men who don't give you the love and attention that you wanted from your dad. And you're going to be attracted to them. At least you're going to believe that you're attracted to them. They're going to give you butterflies because they're activating your trauma. They're activating your wounds. It's not because they're actually a good fit for you or they're actually even somebody that you would want if you didn't have those wounds. But because they're a mirror for those wounds that you have, you're seeing them as a potential healing source for those wounds, and you're being drawn to those kind of men. I'm not saying for sure that that's the case for you, but it's something to be aware of and to look at. If there's a certain type of man that you consistently find yourself being attracted to, or certain relationship pattern that you have, the cycle of your relationships, to look at what is that pattern and what is the wound within you that is attracting that into your life. And then we can help you to heal that. We can help you to bypass those wounds, to integrate those wounds so that you can reconnect to your feminine core. And now you can choose which man you want to be with from a healthy place. And what you'll find when you've truly healed is oftentimes the men that you were interested in before, you find you're not really interested in them anymore. The man potentially that you're interested in now, you'll find you're not even really interested in him anymore after you've done that healing. And the man that you're not interested in now, you may find that you are interested in now, and you actually want that in your life. You want a man who is consistent and committed and really wants you and wants to care for you and devote to you and be your protector, provider, hero, and make you happy. And it doesn't mean that you have to settle and you have to accept a man that's, way below your standard of what you want. But now you're coming from a healthier place where you can actually choose a man who's good for you rather than a good man, at least in your eyes, a man you thought was a good man, a good choice. Well, how about you choose a man who's good for you? Because there's a lot of good men out there and there's a lot of quality men. And sometimes you just need to give them a chance. You need to give them a little more space, like we say with the 90-day challenge. Maybe you give them like a week rather than before you would have cut him off after like a date. Maybe give them 3 dates and just see if something develops, because you're practicing stepping into a secure attachment, a secure, open, vulnerable, detached from the outcome, feminine heart. And you may start to then build that attraction from a deeper place. Like, for example, me and my wife, we didn't have a ton of butterflies going off when we met each other. I mean, I was very physically attracted to her. She was physically attracted to me. And she was, but she wasn't like crazy attracted to me like with some of the other guys she dated in the past, because she had an anxious attachment style. So she was actually getting triggered. Her anxiety wounds were getting triggered within her, which is why she kept going for the same type of guys before. But then when she met me, she got to experience what it was actually like to have a healthy, secure attachment. And it just took a little bit of time for her to step into that. And then that attraction came deeper and that love came deeper. And so you just have to often give it a little bit more time for you to actually step into a new way of being that will shift your life as well. So I hope that helps. Divine said, hang in there, Janelle. Walking away does truly make him think and value. I'm in a separation myself. Yeah, it can allow him to feel and think about you and miss you to some extent, but we don't know. It could also do nothing. And so you want to make sure you have a process where I also recommend that you never step away from a relationship and you never leave without the man being super clear, extremely clear why you're leaving. And that's where you have these magnetic feminine conversations so that he's not wondering like, oh, I wonder where she went or what happened with her. Oh, well, he'll be like knowing it's because you fucked up. Pardon the French, but it's like, dude, it's because you weren't stepping up as a man. You weren't meeting me and my deep core feminine desires in these specific ways. And I need to protect myself. I need to look out for myself. And I can't be in a situation like that if that's not the case. It's not giving him an ultimatum. It's just being very open and vulnerable and real with a man so that he can meet the desires of your heart if he so chooses, and not be like just confused or not knowing why you're acting the way you're acting or why you're drifting off. I'm not saying that's the case, but we want to make sure he's very clear, ideally, before you fully step away. So that was everything that we have time for tonight. I know there's a lot more questions here. Unfortunately, can't get to all of them, but everyone listening, hope you got some gold nuggets. Again, if you haven't yet, you want to take this to the next level. You want to get our coaching support in a deeper way and interact with me in a deeper level, get this customized for you, get our advanced courses and trainings to master magnetic feminine polarity, magnetic feminine communication, get the full 90-day challenge that we teach our clients. Click the link below, go to our website, magnetizeyourman.com, and we'll get you on track with that right away and help you. We will help you. We'll make this happen. And it's something we do every day with our clients, and we have so many success stories. Really, every day they get posted, and I'm just really in awe and grateful that we can be a part of that journey for so many women. So hopefully you can be next with that. Much love, take care, and I look forward to talking to you again very soon. Bye-bye.